Introduce yourself.
I'm Armando Sanchez. I am a freshman here.
My name is Elisandra Sandoval. I am a second year student. I'm a sophomore.
My name is Josue Velasquez. I am a senior.
I came to campus and we were admitted earlier than other students. And at this point into the semester, I'm still surrounded by the MLC floor and CO scholars. And so that knit of community is like very diverse. And then classes started. And the first week of classes, I'm like, whoa. I said, this is not what I saw the first week coming into the university. I said, this is different, and so I just remember like feeling safe when I went back home, when I went back to MLC, and just thinking like, this right here is not even reality. Like once I leave these doors, once I leave this dorm, like the people out there are completely different from myself.
It was the first class I ever did here. I had a big lecture. It was a chemistry lecture of about 300 kids. And I would have thought maybe there'll be a couple people of color, but like it was sad though because I could count how many people there was of color in the class. It was like around 10 to 12 people I could like just count off. And as the year progressed, it kind of like I understood that there was a gap between myself and my fellow peers who were white. This was more apparent for me when I was in my engineering classes, as many of them had more resources during high school that I didn't. They had a lot more background than I did, and at times it made me mad that I was struggling and they were kind of easing through these classes like nothing.
I was walking down State Street with my roommate, Alex, and there was a homeless guy asking for money, and he asked us for money, and we didn't say anything. We just ignored him. We just kept walking. He then waited for us to cross the street, and as we were crossing the street, he said, "That's right. That's why you should get out of our country." And so we were like, all right, I guess. So that was more of discrimination because obviously he was upset that we didn't give him money. So he made that comment.
I think yes, but it's not been directly to me. It's just been directly to the Latino or Hispanic population on campus. Specifically, I live on the multicultural learning community. There's been several incidents where, for example, last semester, our shared den between the second and third floor had decorations for the MLC, and there was an M that was constantly ripped off the door, which stands for multicultural. And it was something that it angered the whole floor because it was something that corresponded to all of us, and we didn't really know how to react on it. Probably the number one would probably be the Red Gym, especially that the Red Gym holds the Multicultural Student Center. It's just a place where I could come in and just be myself and either come in and eat and relax a bit or do homework or study with friends. It's somewhere where I feel kind of welcome and I don't feel like I'm getting looked at, as most of the time I probably will if I either go to WENT, which is the engineering library, or the regular library, because those are mostly taken by white people. And oftentimes when you go into places where it's dominated by them, they often look at you and think what are you doing here? And the Red Gym doesn't really have me feel that way. I feel comfortable being here.
I was in the MLC, which is a multicultural learning community. That definitely helped though. Most of the students there were people of color. So when I would go back, home to Whitty, to my room, it definitely was a different adventure every day and every weekend.
MLC is a really welcoming community, and I feel great with all my friends who live on the floor. I feel like I wouldn't have this type of community if I had not lived on MLC, and I appreciate that. I just feel so comfortable being around them and also being in our dens.
On top of being a CO scholar, I'm also a CO mentor. And one of the reasons that I decided to become a mentor is because I knew a lot about the first year experience. And higher education is something that I do advocate for, especially because we don't see it a lot in marginalized communities. And I want it to be a common thing. Eventually, right now it probably isn't, but eventually I really think that we can get there. But I'm also a sister of Lambda Theta Alpha Latin sorority, and with that organization, I really feel like I found sisters that meet similar, not me, but I would say have similar goals. And we all encourage each other to do more and really just be more, and we really set expectations for one another. We hold each other accountable. We create more responsibilities for one another just so that we can better ourselves. And I think on campus, it's always good to have those people that you can rely on and say, hey, I really want to conquer this, you want to help me with it, and it can just be that much more bigger. And I think a community like that can really help you envision in levels you probably never imagined. Sometimes it's better to do things in a team, but yet be one.
With SLB, that's a lifelong membership.
Mm-hmm.
So like your brother after you graduate and whatnot, they have provided me a home here before the Latin Student Union. The brotherhood that is present there is something that I enjoy, and it has probably been my favorite experience, like being a student here, is knowing that I have brothers that I can rely on. I think the Latin Student Union, or this, I guess all three of the initiatives,
Mm-hmm.
have really connected me back to my culture, and it's tough navigating the university here. It was tough for me. We talked about it earlier, but I definitely want to change that experience for other students. I think the work that I personally do and that we want to do together as a community is, it's important to understand the benefits of doing it for the present, but also always thinking of future students, future Latinx students.
My motivation is my parents, of course. Both of my parents are from Mexico. They're undocumented, and I am their second child who's going to college. My sister graduated just last year from St. Mary's College, and just being on this campus means a lot for them. There's a lot of, I could see the pride they have when they come drop me off on campus, and it just drives me to like push on even if I don't want to do things, because I am here for them and for myself as well.
Because it is a predominantly white institution, but I knew that this was probably a place that I can probably make the biggest difference. And I made it a point of, once I got here, of like finding my niche, finding my community. And I think once I did that, I was able to excel.